Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create custom furniture pieces for your houses by using actual just regular in-game objects from different packs. I don't know where everything comes from. Some of the stuff's going to come from like Generations, I believe has majority of the items. Like I'm always using, I believe it's a shelf that is in, two shelves actually in Generations, and I'm not sure. I am horrible with knowing from one pack to the next, but pretty much what I'm going to show you is you don't have to have, I don't use custom content, and sometimes it does get very boring using the same objects over and over and over, but you can change them up and kind of like create new pieces of furniture by using the in-game stuff. So you're going to need a few cheats. Basically, to open up your cheat bar, you're going to hold Control, Shift, and C, and it brings up this bar, this like blue bar, whatever, up here. And the cheats you're going to be using is you need to turn on the cheats, and I'm not going to type them in. I've already put them in, but I will put on the screen somewhere where it'll have it printed out for you. But you're going to type in testing cheats enabled space true. Then you're going to hit enter. Another one that you're going to want to be using in order to do this is, which I always have on, I never build without, is move objects on. And the other one that we're going to be using that you may or may not know about, it's a long one. Actually, it took me a little while for me to actually remember it. But it's disable snapping to slots on Alt space on. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that cheat do? Because that's quite an awfully big cheat. When you have that one on, and of course you have to have move objects on as well, basically what it'll do, you figure out what I'm doing first, is you know how you have your counters and they like to just snap into place? Well, sometimes, you're going to find an example, for instance, in this tutorial, is sometimes you don't want it just to snap. Sometimes if you press Alt, you want to be able to put that in. As you see, it's not snapping anymore to it. I can go right up to it and it doesn't snap into place. Sometimes you need to do that, especially in one of the objects I'm going to show you. So, first thing we're going to do, let's see, we're going to need, I guess you could say like a faux house. So, I'm just going to go ahead and put a wall. There we go. Let's just go ahead and color the flooring real quick. Just make it carpet. There we go. And then we're going to just go ahead and just give it some kind of wallpaper. I really don't care what would look okay on whatever we did. That'll probably be fine. And I don't like to build with the grid. And if you're wondering, okay, how did you just toggle that on and off like that? Just hit the G. G will toggle your grid on and off. And I always have it off unless for some strange reason I have no idea how big of a spot is, mostly for a bedroom, but most of the time I have it off all of the time. Or if I'm lowering ceilings and stuff like that, it's easier to see whether or not the floor has actually lowered if I have the grid off. So we're going to just go ahead, we'll work over here where we kind of have the sunlight. So actually, why don't we just go ahead and remove this wall in general? There we go. Okay. So, the first object we're going to work with, I guess I probably should have left some of it, is there we go. It's going to be kind of like, I guess you could say a buffet or something or another. I only want that. Oh no, actually I want this at a diagonal. Okay, see, some of the stuff I've actually have used, and some of the stuff, It's been quite a while, so I'm actually going to be looking on my phone to look at the pictures of some of the houses that I have created in the past that actually have these designs in them. And in this case, this house only had this buffet. Let me recreate this wall. No, actually, I think it did go out a little farther. Let me look at my picture. No, it was. It was. Okay. Yes, it was. Okay. Never mind. All right. So basically, let's go ahead. What you're going to be using is a cabinet. I think any base cabinet should work. The cabinet I used in this case was this one, I believe, the cultural cabinet. And this is where you're going to want to make sure there's no snapping or anything like that, because we're actually going to be merging encounters. So I'm going to go ahead, and on the wall that is straight, you're going to go ahead and just let snap in. And we're going to... Don't you just love it when the phone starts ringing in the middle of recording? It almost never fails. But anyway, then you're going to put your next cabinet at a diagonal, 45 degrees. And to do that, you're going to hit the greater than or less than symbols on your keyboard. Depending on your keyboard, I have just a basic, I don't know, American keyboard. I don't even know what they're called. So mine are, of course, are down at the bottom next to M in the space bar. I don't know. I know there's other keyboards, maybe that's not where they're at, but it's a greater than and less than symbol. That's what I use. Or you can, actually, you know what? It's been too long. Okay, here it is. Rotate. Now, of course, these don't show the greater than or less than symbol, but those do turn it. That's just what I always use. I almost never use that when I'm building. So you're pretty much just going to, as you can see, when it snaps in, it doesn't exactly snap in right, because we're on a diagonal, and the encounters don't go on a diagonal quite the same. So this is where we're going to have the cheat where it turns off the snapping to the grid or to the object when I press Alt. So the Alt key is the ALT. It's usually also right next to the keyboard, one on either side. All you gotta do is press that down and hold, and now we can free move this anywhere we want. So we're pretty much just going to carefully align it together. And what I look for is I try to make it so when the counters are actually together, as you can see, the doors and the drawers almost look like they're supposed to be there. And of course you can continue as far as you need depending on your wall, length of your wall, but in this case ours isn't that far. So I'm going to put it, I think I want it about right there. Now of course we have the extra drawer knob things, the handles, but you know what? When I'm playing my game, I'm really not paying that super close attention. So, if it's slightly different or something, it's not really a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just recolor everything just so it at least looks halfway decent. So, let's do, where is it? Rock and stone. I'll just make this, that color works. And let's make this wood. That probably works too. And there we go. We're just going to recolor it. That way at least looks decent, because that's ugly. That's just ugly. Now what I'm going to do, because I have this thing where everything has to match, if you didn't know, is I'm going to go ahead and copy the hex number. If you're wondering what is a hex number, all numbers in a color wheel, all your colors, all your shades actually have a number, and it's called a hex number. I really can't tell you exactly what all about it. I just know that if you copy it, you can, now of course you can't highlight and right mouse click. That's not going to copy it. So just highlight it, drag your mouse over and highlight it, hit Control and C. That is actually the keyboard code or cheat, or I don't know, fast key or whatever you want to call those things. A hotkey, I guess. Control C is for copy. It will pretty much is the same if you were to copy on internet, on a spreadsheet. It doesn't really matter. That's usually what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it. It's going to stay copied the entire time I'm in here unless I copy something else. So our next object that we're going to be using is going to be some shelves. So let's go ahead and do the shelves. These are the ones I told you I think are from Generations. Yes, you got the short shelf here and you got the long one here. I've been asked what packs would I recommend. Generations is one of them because I'm always using the stuff in Generations. So I would definitely recommend. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 2 shelves in. Now I'm going to hit, I want to double check, yes. Press the Alt key down once it snapped to the wall. Press the Alt key down and then hold it and then drag by pushing the left mouse button, and you can drag up and down and it's going to raise your shelf up and down. I'm going to put one there, I guess, it works. And then I'm going to go just a little bit higher. You just see on the height. Yeah, the height looks fine. And another thing that we're going to put in this object is we're going to put in a mirror. And I want a mirror that's a nice, you can pretty much put, any mirror you want. I mean, you can even do that. But in this case, I used, let me see if I can find, I don't think those don't look right. What did I use? I think all I used was this guy here. Was it? No, because he has the base is 6. So what did I use? I put a mirror. See if I can find one. It's a long one, and it attaches. You know what? It's probably just. I can't really see it in my picture here. Really doesn't tell me what mirror I used. Okay, I think I see. Okay. I think I see what mirror is. See, where is it? Where is that mirror? This one. Here it is. I don't know what mirror it is. It looks like it comes from Supernatural. It's a pretty tall mirror by Glass Finders. And I put that there. And then what I would have done is I just made it the same color as everything else. It's just kind of like wood is all I did. So I put it in as the wood. And then I'm going to just go ahead and drag those over so they can match. And then you can pretty much decorate however you want. A lot of things that I will do is I will put pots of stuff, potted plants. There's even this small one from Base Game. Sometimes they don't want to go on the shelf, but if you tilt your camera up, then it will hit like the spaces up there a little bit better. So sometimes I have to tilt my camera. I like to put like tissues on the counter. Let's see, what other stuff could you possibly use? You can pretty much just put whatever you want all over and just decorate the shelves with whatever you have. And there you have a nice little buffet for, just to put in the dining room. A lot of times I put those in dining rooms. And you can change them up. Use different mirrors, use different counters, change everything up. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Figure it'd just be faster if I just did something like that. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next object. Hopefully these do not take me too long. I apologize. Hopefully this isn't too long. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do an easy object next that is quick. It is going to be a different kind of end table. So you can go into your end tables and, coffee table. You need coffee table. And this one is the base game isometric table. And you're just going to place it and grab another one. And this is why you need move objects on. And you're going to hit your greater than or less than symbol and turn it one time and let it snap. You're going to grab another one. And we're going to turn it 90 degrees. And there we go. And then we're going to do one more. Whoops. And now what you have is an octagonal shape coffee table. So that's all it is. I use this one actually quite often in living rooms that use different or decent size, like the big, sometimes I have a big living room and I want to fill up space, and then you can just recolor, make sure you recolor all of them. And it also gives you all kinds of slots to put stuff on top because you have the slots for all of those coffee tables there. So I really like this one. I think it gives a nice unique look, and it's probably one of my favorite coffee tables. In fact, I use that coffee table in general all of the time because I like it. Okay, our next object that we are going to do, let's see, let me take a look here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done some of these. Okay, a boring old dresser. Do you ever get tired of your boring old dressers, or they always seem to be, just the same? Well, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use this one. You could probably use any of them. It wouldn't really matter, probably. You could probably use that one. That one might even be better because of the fact that it doesn't have any legs. But in the house I used this dresser, and this one came from, it's also a base game, and I don't know, it's the Homestead dresser from some kind of industries. And then you're going to grab the basic bookshelf. Again, it's base game, and we're just going to slide it in together. And that basically what it does is it gives you your dresser and you have a small bookshelf on top. Now I want to warn you though, putting a bookshelf inside of another object, your Sims can't always use it. So there's I'm pretty certain, unfortunately, your Sims will not be able to use that bookshelf. But you want to know something? When I'm decorating, sometimes I don't care. It's the fact that it looks different and I like it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab surface, we're going to go back to displays, and we're going to grab the long wall shape from generations, and we're going to snap it to the wall right in front. And remember about holding Alt and dragging up or down. Now we're going to just bring it ever so slightly right above, and that gives us a shelf on top of that bookshelf that we can now decorate. Now I have found that once you've merged it, you can't always put stuff on top, so you can just move it away like that. Let's go ahead and recolor everything so it all looks nice. There we go. We're going to go ahead and that one's already got all the colors. It's best to recolor this shelf here, whatever you do there, with the exact same wood pattern as well. That way you know the colors are going to match, the woods match, because when they make things out of furniture or out of wood, they're not going to use a whole bunch of different kinds of different woods. They're going to use the same kind of wood. There we go. They might maybe stain it differently, but for the most part, the woods are going to be the same. And then you can just kind of, put your jar of frog toads or frog legs or something on top of it. Whatever you want that you can put on a shelf. I like to use these little candles because they light up, at night. You can pretend that's either soap or hand lotion or something. Put, a cup. I use that cup a lot. And then you're just going to bring that back, and there you have it. You have a dresser now. This will work as a dresser. Your Sims can still use it, but it's now changed up a little bit to a different piece of furniture. I haven't used this one in quite some time, but it is also one of my favorites. I like that one. That's going to be it for this part. Be sure to check out the second part of this series. There's only going to be probably 2 of them. But I went ahead and cut the video in half, and there will be a second part to this, so be sure to check that out. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them below, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.